Alright, today we're going to do Alabama Getaway. It's A blues, a lot of bar. Jerry's doing this Chuck Berry. So it's A, D, E a lot of the time, just different ways of going through it. But we're going to go through the chords, and I'm going to go through the Bobby licks with you so you can hear all the little that he's doing in the background. Because Jerry's mainly just doing chords the entire time. And then Bob's going, doing all these little things in the background. Right when you start out right there, when they go into the song, it's start out in E, and instead of doing that Chuck Berry bop that, so on the D you go, you do the D sus2, so it's like the D and then you move the B string, D at the 5th and the 7th, and you move the B string down to the 5th. If you have a whammy, put that whammy on it too. So when it's like, so this little riff is just the bottom of A, the 2 B and E string, real quick, and then bend up the B string and the G string at the 7th, and then kind of go back to that bar on the bottom of A, or A minor really, because you have this note in it. So this whole song is kind of like they're doing minor and major. He's not really signaling the major by doing this, you know. Sometimes he is, but Bob's doing a lot of minor, and you know, it's kind of minor and major. That's the little gist of it. So when you start out the song, like I said, E, that D sus2. Jerry goes, Bob's going. And then to go into the verse, just slide up this power A, from the G to the A at the 7th, at the 5th, D string, your index finger on the 5th, 7th fret, G string, ring finger, and then 8th fret pinky. Just slide that up a whole step into A. So let's do the intro again. You'll see what I'm talking about. We'll piece it together. You hear him slide up into that, and then he goes DC. So that's like the minor of it. While Jerry's going on the major, Bob's doing minor. So it's kind of like they're signaling that it's minor and major together. So that's the intro of it. And then for the verses, so for the first verse here, he kind of does that little E, and then that D sus2. He does that riff a lot, that little, you hear that all throughout the song. So, but for the verses, everyone's just a little different, but we'll go through the different verses to see what you can do. One of them, like I said, is sliding this up, and one of them is kind of just, he's kind of just doing that during the verse instead of just doing it at the end of the verse, so you'll hear it when we play it with it. See right there, he didn't right there, that second verse, he didn't do the. He just did the. Kind of doing that while Jerry's singing. So that's kind of like, from there they repeat the song, you know, so we're going to go through that when he goes, Alabama, get away, get away. So, strum A, strum D. You can do either, or. I'm pretty sure it's this one. I've been listening to it because he kind of does that riff. I was thinking he does it just up in D when he hits D. Maybe sometimes he does, but a lot of times I hear him do this bend up to D7. So let's listen to it. Yeah. It might be this one actually. Okay, so yeah, in this version I think it is that. So basically what we do down at the A. So, Alabama, get away. Alabama, get away. So after you hit the A and do the riff, go up to the D and do the riff. So then after that, only way to please me, E. Only way to please me, just gotta leave and walk away. Hit it twice right there at the end of it, and then right back into the verse. Jerry starts jamming. And I noticed when Jerry's jamming, Bob's doing what Jerry's doing in the verse to give him the supply the rhythm, you know, so he's not just doing a bunch of riffs, but sometimes he does what he does during the verse, you know, so let's listen to it. So the verses to for the jamming, it's not exactly the verse. So the verse is da 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 da. You sit on the A. So when Jerry's jamming, he goes. It's like the chorus. Just with only one at the end, you know. So we'll go through it. What I get from this is it's the first verse is when he goes. And then for the second part of the verse, he does that while he's singing. So you hear he slides into the first part of the verse and then he does that riff for the second part. I don't know if that's every version, but that's just this 10-30-80 version. But yeah, so a lot of the times too, if you saw what I did there during the verses when you're jamming, if you do the minor, but he puts it in the chords and just not the, and then this is the minor. You just. F, E, D. Yep. Yep. So that riff, just bend up that. It's so fun. Basically just the song. If you have any more questions on it, let me know. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Got Standing on the Moon coming up next, so stay tuned.